New York, big city of dreams.
I'm coming straight out.
New York, big city of dreams.
NYC.
What's going on? This is Jay Ellis from Nick of Time Show here, giving you that Knicks talk just in the nick of time, and it's time to talk about another Knicks win. Yes, the Knicks once again beat the Wizards 126 to 106, and finally decided to play defense in key parts of the game. OG Anunoby gives you 18 points, 8 rebounds, and 1 block. Karl Anthony Towns gives you 32 points with 13 rebounds. Mikal Bridges chips in with 13 points, 5 assists. Jalen Brunson did not quite have 55, but he gave you 18 points and 5 assists. And the man of the hour to me, the guy who got us this win, Josh Hart, was all heart today and gave you a triple-double with 23 points, 10 assists, 15 rebounds, and 2 steals. The Knicks did their thing on the boards and won the rebound battle 61 to 55, advantage Knicks, and once again eclipsed the 30 assist mark, giving us 32 assists while forcing the Wizards into 13 turnovers on the night. And we're going to talk about it all, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And sorry for a late start, guys. I had technical difficulties, so we have to go back to Fritz running the show. So no gunshots, but use your imagination. We busting those shots in the air for the Wizards' loss to the Knicks on a back-to-back, matter of fact, because we just beat them the other day. So you know what? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the good, the bad, the ugly. Before we talk about it, shout out to the people in the chat who was waiting for us. Shout out to Jean-Marc. Shout out to Gamer Channel. Shout out to Fritz who's running the show. Everybody else is rocking with the KOT show. Also, shout out to my guy Lee who was running it while I was kind of under the weather the other day for filling in. And my man Lee is actually swamped today. So now it's me, Jay Ellis, rocking it for you guys at the KOT show. All right, let's get to it, man. This is one of these games where, because we beat the last team, we're entering this game going, you know what? This is a Wizards team that is not a top NBA team. They have a bunch of young players. We should be able to take advantage. And although we barely beat them the last game, we should learn from our mistakes. Take what we've learned from the last game, bring it into this game, and don't make it as close as before. That's, to me, should have been the mindset for these Knicks, and that's pretty much what I've been looking for. Now, when the game started, that's not what we got. That's not what we got. I thought the defense would have been a lot better from the start, not, kind of taking off, kind of just stomping their head early, and that's not exactly what happened when I was watching this game. There was a lot of miscues. It was a little bit weird. It was a little bit weird. OG Anunoby in particular in that first quarter didn't seem like the defensive dynamo that we usually have. He let Malcolm Brogdon run by him. He let Karl Kuzma get by him. Defensively, we weren't on a string. I feel like rebounds weren't really what we were trying to go after. Karl Anthony Towns got into trouble once again to start the game, and it just seems like we weren't disciplined enough, or even we didn't have the intensity on defense in that first quarter. And I'm not gonna lie, it was troubling considering what we've been through on the overtime win the last game. But one thing about this team this season is, although they don't really play 4 quarters of defense, the kind of long removed from the team of last year, so far this season, at least during this stretch of games, they kind of just pick their spots, and then they stomp on their necks in their spots and get the job done. And to me, and I guess to you guys too, the turning point was absolutely Josh Hart. Josh Hart, no matter what's going on, is going to give 120%. And that 120% is what turned the game for us. The rebounding was off the charts. The defense was off the charts. But today, Josh Hart gave us shot making, and Josh Hart gave us playmaking. Josh Hart went off, scored 17 points in that second quarter. In the first quarter, the Knicks missed one. They hit 1 of 11 from a 3-point line, and it took Josh Hart, the guy who couldn't hit a three last year to save his life, to hit 3 consecutive threes in a row to start to blow the game open and bring some momentum to the Knicks, giving kind of like a quick 9-point swing. So it seemed like once Josh Hart got into a scoring role and he started to rebound the ball better, the other Knicks intensity started to pick up, because before it was kind of only Jalen Brunson scoring a little bit, and then he kind of cooled down. Then it just seemed like it was Josh Hart. And it was Josh Hart alone. And it was interestingly enough, too, the interesting part of that the game, too, is it was Josh Hart in the bench. And I think this is important to point out that it was Josh Hart in the bench because the bench had 0 points in that second quarter. And we don't really have a high-powered, high-scoring bench at the moment. But what's interesting is the bench's team defense kind of leads to the offense of Josh Hart and those guys. And that kind of helped kick off what we've seen in Josh Hart today. So Josh Hart has been a gem for the Knicks. They talked about it in a couple of post games. The Josh Hart trade to the New York Knicks have been one of the most pivotal trades that we have made. It's kind of changed our future. We gave up first round picks when that trade went down. People were upset about it. Cam Reddish went out. I don't even see him in the league anymore. That Josh Hart trade was pivotal, and it saved us time after time after time. And the fact that this guy is making $20 million and giving you triple doubles third on the season lets you know how shrewd and clever Leon Rose is to get this type of production out of a guy for only $20 million. So big ups to Josh Hart, who helped turn this game in the second quarter and helped get us a win in that win column. And shout out to Fritz who put this in the chat. Knicks are now half a game behind the Boston Celtics with this win, and the Boston Celtics are sitting at that number 2 spot. So shout out to Josh Hart for a huge game, because he had to become the scorer. Because if you're looking down the box score, OG Anunoby wasn't hitting threes. He was like 1 for 6. Jalen Brunson was missing threes. Mikal Bridges was missing threes. So we had to lean on Josh Hart. And interestingly enough, I'm starting to get concerned with OG Anunoby a little bit. Still, I'm tracking his shooting after the 40-point outburst versus the Denver Nuggets. He has not been shooting well from 3. He's been shooting 27% from the 3-point line and 41% from the field ever since that 40-point outburst. And it was concerning. But the good news is today, after Josh Hart hit 3 of 3 to help bust the game open in that third quarter, OG Anunoby decided he wants to hit 3 threes in a row. So, once again, we start to struggle, but we start to also pick up at the right spots. And you know what? That's the sign of a winning team. The sign of a winning team is not just, the win and loss column. It's the picking your spots on when to fight and be able to execute no matter the situation. Those are the signs of winning teams. Teams who just find a way to win despite having an off shooting night. Despite putting the Wizards on the free throw line repeatedly. I think they gave them 12 free throws in the first half. They just find different ways to win. And even though OG Anunoby has been shooting 27% from 3 since that 40-point outburst versus the Denver Nuggets, those 3 threes and the defense also helped turn that tide in the third quarter. And funny enough, the Knicks right now, they lead the league in third quarter execution. The days of the third quarter of death are gone, and we started to pick up some momentum offensively and defensively in the third quarter. But you got to give the Wizards credit. They started to keep up with us a little bit, and we only outscored them by 7. But I'm gonna tell you something about these games. You for teams have pivotal points in the game where they have to concentrate to put their foot on teams' necks, and the start of quarters and the end of quarters are pivotal in winning games. So when I'm looking at this game and how the Wizards were able to keep up, I felt like they showed up when it really became winning time, because those last 2 or 3 minutes of that third quarter is when the Knicks veteran know-how kind of picked up. And you saw Deuce McBride, who really did not score in the first half, 0 points, really start to pick it up defensively and started to force turnovers. And it hit a big 3 after really not scoring in that first half. We saw Josh Hart once again getting extra possessions and passing it to the teammates. We seen Precious Achua to close the half block the shot of a Wizards player going to the rim, which is important because the Knicks all game today was really bad at the rim, really bad. So the Knicks did a great job closing out that third quarter and getting us to that win, and then continuing that in the fourth quarter. Deuce McBride, it's funny. There was a play that happened when Deuce McBride got called for a foul that he was contesting, and the Wizards center hooked his arm, and I kind of feel like that got him going, because I feel like once that started to happen, he got hyped, he got amped, he started to hit threes, the defense started to pick up. And you know what? I kind of feel like that's kind of been a theme for these Knicks. There's usually a moment or something that happens that sets them off, and then they just take the moment and they ratchet up the intensity level. And that's what was happening from Deuce. So like the Deuce's defense really picked up from that third quarter all the way to the fourth quarter with the defense, the penetration, the rebounding, because he had some big rebounds in that fourth quarter, and just the shot making from Deuce. So amazing to see Deuce turn it up and be a big contributor in that third to fourth quarter. We ended up holding the Wizards to only 18 points in the fourth quarter and took their heart out of the game. So yeah, that was a big swing for us defensively, showing some toughness from a veteran team. Also, Karl-Anthony Towns, man. Karl-Anthony Towns had a big game as well, 32 points, 13 rebounds. And a lot of the reasons why we won that rebounding battle is because Karl-Anthony Towns was actually around for the second half of the game. He had a lot of foul trouble the last game. He started off the game with foul trouble, and you could kind of see the foul trouble kind of has him out of rhythm. You can kind of see him trying to pull back his hand and not catch a ticky-tack foul, or also trying to practice that rule of verticality. But he still has some things that he has to work on. The offhand swiping is a thing that's been keeping him in foul trouble, collecting offensive fouls. Also, him getting to early foul trouble is contributing to the bad paint defense, because he's trying to lay off of people going to the rim because he has so many fouls. So like defensively, there's still certain things to clean up for sure. The Wizards are really good at pick and roll offense and getting teams in trouble that way. That's one of our weaknesses. That could be a big reason why we have problems with the Wizards in general, even though we ended up winning. But the one thing I will say is the portion of the game with Karl-Anthony Towns got it going. He really got it going. And I've said this on this program before, the big difference that I see from hear from the Timberwolves is that the willingness just to be inside is just a lot more potent. And I don't know if that's just experience from being with the Timberwolves or if it's Tom Thibodeau kind of just being more diligent on getting him inside and taking advantage of his height. But I'm glad it's happening with us because today, Carl, usually a good 3-point shooter, was 0 for 3 from 3 today. But what I did like was his mid-range game was really good. He seems like he's starting to favor that kind of Jordan shake fadeaway thing. Like that seems like to be his thing right now. And then then he also had a couple of sweeping hooks. He had some up and unders, which is also something to note because he's really hasn't really been good at the rim this season. That's probably his. If you want to talk about offensive weaknesses this year, he has not been good at the rim. So it was good to see him get some paint touches and some hook shots and some up and unders and finishing there as well. But Karl Anthony Towns ended up having a good day, a good game offensively, and despite I kind of felt like got outplayed by Valanciunas for a stretch because Valanciunas was giving us the business. I'm not gonna hold you. Um, Ended up being a big plus by the end of the game. I think his rebounding had a lot to do with the plus minus numbers being in Karl Anthony Towns' favor. Because I was like, yo, is Valanciunas cooking? Is Valanciunas cooking cat? I thought we had the big $1 million cat center who was supposed to be the premier big man in this matchup. But Valanciunas, man, Valanciunas is playing like he wants to be traded to a contender. Valanciunas is definitely playing like he wants to be traded to contender. And the funny thing enough, I've talked about Valanciunas here. When Valanciunas first went to the Wizards, and we just signed Precious, and I noted that the Knicks only would sign Precious if he waived his no trade clause. And I also noted that Precious and Valanciunas both make around the same amount of money. And I also noted that the Knicks have the Wizards pick, and that Wizards pick is heavily protected to the point where it will not convey with the Knicks, which means it is only viable to the Wizards. So will the Knicks knock on the Wizards' door and do like a Precious and first round swap for Valanciunas? I don't know. But the way Valanciunas played today, he's definitely playing to get noticed by other teams. And he had a great game today. Like there was a part where he had like 20 points in 15 minutes. Still has a little bit of a touch, can play some defense a little bit. Like he's a solid center. So that's something to look into. Just something to keep an eye on, I would say. Something to keep an eye on, I would say. But end of the day, Karl Anthony Towns, monster game, 32 points, kind of gets overshadowed by Josh Hart because Josh Hart was just that dominant. Whenever you have a guy getting rebounds over toilet people in traffic, when you have a guy throwing alley-oop passes to Karl Anthony Towns, Josh Hart's passing is just underrated. Hitting threes, has been the most efficient scorer on the court today. Yeah, he definitely outshined. He was definitely the best player on the court today for sure. But salute to the chat though. Salute to the chat. Shout out to Gamer Channel who sends a $10 super chat because Precious Achiuwa, man, it's true to his word. Gamer Channel pledged that every time Precious Achiuwa hits a three, he would send a $10 super chat. So Precious Achiuwa, when the game started to get turned the Knicks' way, went into that 3-point corner and hit a three, and $10 came to KOT. So a salute to you, Precious Achiuwa, and a salute to you, Gamer Channel. And I'm gonna read you his super chat because he actually let's see. He actually had a little bit of. He actually sent me what he meant. Hold on a second. Shout out to Gamer Channel, man. Everybody who rocks with the show. Let's see. Gamer wrote, yo, where is your? He said the Josh Hart trade has to go down as one of the best trades in Knicks history. Cat is a straight up monster. Precious Achua making me proud with his 1 3-pointer a game. Happy New Year to the KOT family. Appreciate you, Gamer Channel. Appreciate you, man. All right. Sandman said Precious was sucked today. Precious, you know what, Sandman? A lot of people kind of suck today. To be honest with you, like I feel like nobody was really on their game. It's just the Knicks were really good in moments, and because this is like a young team, and Champagne didn't score 30 points and go crazy in the 3-point line, it was enough to win. To be straight up, they were. I mean, Josh Hart played well, and Cat played well, kinda. And like even Cat played well to me, kind of had like a weird asterisk to it. But I feel like Cat really went off when the game was kind of turning our way anyway. You know what I'm saying? But like everybody else, in my eyes, didn't really have a game to write home about. Like I'm gonna read you the box scores. OG Anunoby was 5 for 14, 35% from the field, 4 of 11, 36% from 3, which is actually an improvement because he hit those 3 threes in a row. Karl-Anthony Towns shot 68%. Karl-Anthony Towns did his thing on offense. Mikal Bridges shot 40% from the field. Not the best Mikal Bridges game. 1 from 6 from 3 for 16%. Jalen Brunson, although they had 18 points, shot 35% from the field, 16% from the 3. Miles McBride, 37% from the field, 33% from 3. So like McBride didn't have a great game offensively. He just hit them in important moments. And that's been the theme for everybody. So like, yeah, Precious was cheeks. A lot of people with cheeks. Just a lot of people with cheeks. But Precious was good during that momentum swing. We happen to run into a team that's not that good. Salute to Winston Ellis, my real fake cousin. Shout out to you. Cat Quest says next 25 games before All-Star break will tell me everything I need to know. Now, absolutely. And I want to get to that too, because the Knicks have they've been doing their thing, won 8 games in a row. We've had a really easy December. And I know Lee talks a lot about being a championship contender and the Knicks being on their way. But for me, I would say, yes, we will have potential, but December was December, and January is another test. It is not going to be the same caliber of teams in January that we were facing in December. So to me, this is going to be more indicative of what the Knicks really are and not what just happened. I'm glad that we got the games that we won, though. I'm glad that we were taking care of business. I'm glad that we beat all these bottom feeder teams. But January, we played the Thunder twice. That's SGA. That's Hartenstein. Those boys play defense. Those boys don't let up. That's going to be a dogfight. Denver, we beat Denver already. You know they're going to be pissed. We're going to play Denver once again as well during that January stretch. I think we play the Lakers as well. The Rockets are always a tough matchup for us. We play the Rockets in January. The schedule starts to ramp up. The Bucks have been playing a lot better as well. So it's like we go from that Thunder game to the Bucks game. Then we play the Timberwolves again. And I know we beat them before. They're coming back to the Garden. So there's going to be tougher games in January. There's not going to be this stretch of 8 or 9 games or teams are just under 500. So we're going to have to lace them up. Now, there's some booty teams sprinkled in there. I'm not going to hold you. Like, we got Sacramento, it's booty. Nets a booty. We playing them too. But, the Hawks give us problems. The Celtics come out early February. Like, you're going to have to strap them up. I'm really excited to see what we're going to be doing in January, to see where we're standing, to see if the defense ratchets it up. Because so far this season, our offense has been really good. I just read something that says we're top 5 in the NBA in all 3 scoring levels, at the paint, in the mid-range, and at the three-point line. So when we're playing these tougher teams with tougher defenses, it's going to be interesting to see if those numbers still stand up. It's also going to be interesting to see if we'll be able to sustainably play 4 quarters of defense, because right now we've been getting away with winning with only playing 2 quarters of defense or 3 quarters of defense. So I'm excited to see the challenge that lies ahead of us. Sam says, hopefully Mitch will be back for those Hawks games. We definitely need Mitch back for those Hawks games for sure, and for those big men. We're going to need him laced up. Also, Landry Shamet, I'm hoping he gets a little bit more rhythm to help our bench scoring. Because like I said, we haven't been scoring a lot of points from the bench. But although we haven't been scoring a lot of points off the bench, and people are concerned about that, the team defense from the bench is being able to force a lot of turnovers. And what ends up happening is our starters end up being the beneficiary of the defense from our bench. So it still kind of helps us out, even though they haven't been scoring. But Landry Shamet, he should help our bench scoring for real with the 3 points, the 3-point takes, the 3-point shots he's going to be able to get, especially he quickly gets those up for sure. Also, one thing I want you guys to keep an eye on moving forward too, because we talked about, we're looking at minutes. Mikal Bridges is still playing a lot of minutes. He's still leading the NBA in minutes. It's funny. I thought he would those minutes would start to decline when Shamet got back. Shamet's been playing only around 10 minutes a game. Really, whose minutes has been shrinking are Campaign's minutes. Campaign played 6 minutes and 42 seconds today. I think he had another 5-minute, 6-minute stint before. So it's looking like Campaign's minutes are steadily shrinking. And I don't know if Tom is looking more at Deuce to run the point, and Shamet to be like the 2 guard who's going to be running off of screens and flare actions to get some shots up quickly. But that's what it looked like it's happening. Yeah, Deuce's 3 for 8 shooting is definitely not good. For sure. Gregory Lee said, let's be honest, Jay Ellis, we're in a good spot, and Mikal is coming into his own. Only issue we have to worry about is OKC, because we have five starters. We can contain the rest of the team. No, listen, I'm not saying we had a bad spot. I'm not saying that. The Knicks won 8 in a row. We're number 3 in the East. This is not a bad spot. This is definitely not a bad spot. We're in a pretty good spot. Number 3 in the East and a half game behind the Celtics is a good spot. It's a damn good spot. What I'm saying is, I'm looking at the bigger picture. There's peaks and there's tests that you have to go through to prove your mettle, to prove you are who you say you are. Right now, we've taken care of business and we've beaten the teams that we're supposed to be taking care of, and that's the test that we just passed. We passed the flying colors in my eyes. Yes, because we got the wins. But there's still certain things I want to see on defense. But like the way we've been winning with those teams, we won't be able to win those same ways with other teams. We're gonna have to play more consistent defense with those other teams. That's all I'm really saying. Gurley says no. I'm saying OKC centers, but our center position is still in question. OKC centers. Oh, you talking about? Oh, because you're saying because Chet is injured. Yeah, Chet is injured, but Hartenstein is still playing and he's still kind of rolling. I understand what you're saying though. Sandman says Celtics already think about trading Porzingis. Is that true? Interesting. That's interesting. I won't blame them though. The Celtics have so much money on the books. Porzingis is hardly available. I think it would behoove them to explore the trade market. The best ability is availability. If I was the Celtics, I'd probably try to trade him too. They already proven that they can win a chip without him. So why do we really need him? It's like you have him to be the linchpin for when Al Horford gets older, and you still have a 3-point defensive guy behind him. But like Al Horford playing more than Porzingis, and Al Horford is 75 years old. You know what I mean? So it's like, what are you gonna do? If I'm the Knicks, though, like the Knicks, well, we already seen Dorian Finney-Smith got traded to the Lakers, so he's out. He's out of here. I've heard some rumblings about people wanting to trade for scoring off the bench. Our starting five is so potent that anytime only of them can be paired with the bench and we can still be good. I'm like my sister Ebony who posted this before. We just need some defense, man. We just need a consistent defensive anchor. I really don't think I'm not really sold on any trades, really, man. Like I just want Mitch back. I just want Mitch back so we can match up against these other teams with bigs, and we can see what the Cat Mitch lineup looks like in stints. You know what I'm saying? Sandman says Herb Jones or Trey Murphy would be lethal. Herb Jones and Trey Murphy would be lethal. However, they aren't realistic. Those guys will require multiple firsts to get on a team. The Knicks don't have multiple firsts to trade. The only first they have is the Wizards pick, which is heavily protected. And you can tell by the way the Wizards are losing, it's not going to convey. So that first round pick is not going to be suitable for Herb Jones or Trey Murphy. Good idea. We just don't have the assets. It's not going to happen. It's really not going to happen. Like we're going to be looking at teams who require, if anything, like I feel like the only trades possible are going to involve Mitch or Precious, if anything. If I had to bet money, I would say it would be Precious over Mitch. If I had to bet any type of money. And that's only because it's like I'm not sure. I'm not even sure what Mitch's trade value is right now. Precious has no trade clause. Precious is only $6 million. And there's some vets out there who only require second round picks that can be mixed with Precious to get something back if that's what the Knicks want to go to. Gregory says Valanciunas. Maybe Valanciunas, if they feel like Mitch isn't coming back the way they want to, maybe they just go out and get Valanciunas. Who knows? I can definitely see that happening. It's a possibility, I'm saying. But all right. Well, salute to the chat, yo. Appreciate you guys rocking with me. I don't have the gunshots today. Technical difficulties. Shout out to my guy Fritz, who's the best mind in the game. Had to kind of set up for me at the last second because it wasn't working on my end. And I'm not even at home, so I'm at my mom's, my sister's spot. But hey, man, we can do with it what we can do with it. Val is a scorer, not a good defender. I mean, he's a decent post defender. Everybody who defends Cat looks like a bad defender. Valanciunas is not that center who's going to really defend you away from the basket. I'll give you that. Like he doesn't have the quick feet. He's not going to defend you away from the basket, but he's a decent post defender. Precious, you know what it is too? Like Precious versatility defensively is gonna help us. Will help us a lot. I still feel like at certain matchups, Precious can be overpowered in the paint. It's funny. In certain times, it's like Precious is an enigma because Knicks versus 76ers, Precious did a really good job guarding Joel Embiid. He also did a good job. He was also one of the only guys who slowed down Valanciunas versus the Bulls for us. And um, Valanciunas is way bigger. But then there's like times when Precious just gets overpowered by other bigs, and I'm thinking, man, maybe we need somebody bigger who can has the power. But it's interesting. I get your sentiment though. I'm not gonna hold you. I get your sentiment. All right. But shout out to Timmy. Shout out to you, Timmy, man. We outside, man, enjoying this win. Happy we got this game, 8 games in a row. Shout out to Knicks Nation, man. Definitely shout out to Knicks Nation. Good win, big win. Not a big win, but an important win by the Knicks, just to take care of business, not be complacent on a home and home game, and just taking out the Wizards, man. Finding ways to win. Josh Hart giving you a triple double. Karl Anthony Towns fighting his way out of foul trouble to drop 30 and 12 today. Deuce McBride, even though he didn't shoot well, just shot well in big moments. The team didn't play well for a lot of the game, but pulled together when they had to and blew the game open. Only allowing the Wizards to score 18 points in the fourth quarter and just taking care of business. Just taking care of business. We did what we had to do. Yeah, Sam. Yeah, Cap showed Rook how it's done for sure. All right, salute to the chat, man. Appreciate you guys. If you enjoyed the show, hit that like and subscribe, man. We here after every game talking Knicks basketball. So apologize for being late. Had technical difficulties, man. This internet streaming stuff is not for the faint of heart. Sometimes things is going wrong, and you just like, damn, everybody's waiting for me to stream, and everything's just going to crap. But I'm glad that you guys were able to stick with us and enjoy the show. All right. Fitz put up a poll. All right. You know what, too? When the league gets here, there has been a rumor about Isaiah Stewart. I think I'm going to talk about that when Lee gets back. Happy New Year, Captain Matumbo. Funny enough, I really like Isaiah Stewart. But I was reading the article about how Isaiah Stewart would be the perfect match for the Knicks. And I do agree in a lot of instances. Like that dog who shoots threes and plays defense would be really good for the Knicks off the bench. But there were certain things about the deal that the writer proposed that I didn't like. And I know I see some people say he's too short for me, which I get, but like, even though he's short, his defense is crazy. Like he plays taller guys like he's their height. He's just ridiculously strong. It's like a different strength than Precious, because Precious is around the same height, but he's long, so he uses his length to help defense. With Stewart, he's strong. So like sometimes when Precious gets bullied, the way he gets bullied, like Stewart, his base is just so big he doesn't get bullied like that. But I think I want to get more in depth when Lee gets here. I think that's definitely an interesting conversation. I know Lee likes Stewart as well as I do in general, but I'm not sure exactly where he would stand on bringing him here and at what price, which is why I just want to wait till he gets here, because I feel like that could be an interesting debate, well, depending on what side he lands on. You know what I mean? Alec Bob says Isaiah always gives himself in a lot of crap. Yes, he does. It's funny. You know what though, Bob? When teams are structured a certain way, like the Knicks are, you can spare to get a player here who's not the shiny, crispy, clean cut person. Like our culture is so set that we can get somebody here who gets in a little bit of trouble and it probably won't take us off kilter. You know what I'm saying? Like you think about like when Dennis Rodman joined the Bulls and that Bulls culture was so set that even though Dennis Rodman was out here wilding, partying, doing whatever with Marilyn Monroe, smoking crack, whatever the hell he was doing, like he would still be able to. He was still within that team professional structure, and it would to the benefit. Like it gave him an edge. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I feel like we're so structured and buttoned up to have that edge of Stewart wouldn't be a bad thing. Although he gets into a lot of crap, I just feel like we have the structure, the team structure to handle a lot of crap, personally. Now that doesn't mean I want to trade for him, and I want to get more into why I might not pull the trigger on that trade with Lee. I just want to see where Lee's headed at and get a little debate because that could be fun for you guys to watch. So, but salute. I appreciate your thoughts on that for sure. All right. Well, salute to the chat though. Thank you guys for watching solo dolo show. My holding it down by myself. Thank you, Lee, for holding down by himself the last game. I had to hold down myself today. And also shout out to the people in the chat, man. 47 deep. Came late. Y'all still here. 11:34 at night. I definitely appreciate the love and the support that you guys have been giving us. Predicate Slew KOT. For sure. Also, my pop's birthday was yesterday. So I was a little bit under the weather. Also had to visit my pops, and it seemed like it was gonna be rough to do that and do a show. So thank you, Lee, for stepping up and just like, yo, I'll do the show, my guy. Don't worry about it. Spend time with your pops. So I definitely appreciate you. I definitely appreciate Lee for just kind of holding it down, for sure. Especially because we kind of been short without Ebony and Ryan G. And Lee's really stepped up. He's really stepped up. So shout out to Lee. Thank you for holding it down, my guy. All right. But yeah, and happy birthday to my pops. Guys, those of you don't know, my pops is one of the reasons why KOT is here. Is my pops. I was in there. He indirectly inspired KOT by the stuff he was going through. So always salute to my pops for kind of being one of the catalysts to KOT and its inception. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to my pops. Charles Ellis. Yeah. All right. Felicia Lee. Shout out to Felicia, me. Shout out to Felicia, man. I love your support, Felicia. She says, Jay Ellis, we love your show. Happy birthday to your dad. Happy New Year's and blessings. Yeah, I appreciate you, man. I love that you love the show. I actually can't wait to have like everybody back, man, because I feel like the show when everybody's here is even a different level. Love doing the show with Lee, though. I also love Ryan's perspective. I love Ebony's perspective. I've also I just love having women's perspective in general. Like shout out to you guys who were here during the Kathy era. But also Ebony is just so smart and sees the game a certain way and differently, and is not like a bandwagon person. She always has her own independent thoughts, which I respect. So I'm excited to have those guys back for some shows for sure. And having like a full squad again. It's been a weird year. It's been a weird year for KOT. But we still here, man. Y'all still supporting us through different iterations, so I appreciate that. What's the guy Jay Ellis that you argued about, Randall? What's that guy Jay Ellis that you argued? The guy. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah, I'll have him back. I'll definitely have him back. It's funny enough, he's very polarizing. He's definitely polarizing, but I'm definitely gonna have him back. I'm definitely gonna have him back for sure. But I kind of knew he'll be polarizing when the episode dropped. It's funny because when that episode dropped, if you guys don't know, there was an episode when we were debating Randall and why he was traded, and he felt like he was traded once the thumbs down hit. And I said I don't think it had anything to do with thumbs down. I think it had if the Knicks felt like he was good enough to keep for the money that he demanded, he would have got the money he demanded. But at the end of the day, Freddie Katz kind of reported that the Knicks and Randall were so far apart in terms of money that he was owed. I mean, money that he wanted to be paid for his next contract, that they were dead set on trading him. So like it really had nothing to do with the thumbs down. It really had everything to do with money. Like he probably felt like he turned down a lot of money to stay with the Knicks, and at that time, the way he played, he definitely did turn down a lot of money. But at the same time, he kind of gambled, and the money that he was worth then is probably not the money he's worth now. So listen, it worked out in our favor. We got Cat. Cat's been great for us. Water under bridge. I appreciate everything Randall's done for us. He got us to this point, and now we're on our way to be a championship contending team if we build the right habits. So it is what it is. All right, man. That's the show, guys. I appreciate you rock with me this late night. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that like and subscribe. If you're new, let me know too. Erica Bob, man. Appreciate you. You said that was an entertaining show. I bet. I'll have my guy back. I'll tell him too. He's like, the chat wants you back, sir. The chat wants you back. Yeah, Sean Shepard is his name. Sean Shepard. JT Reddick, man. Shout out to you. Salute. But that's the show, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Next show will be, let's see. Is it Wednesday? Wednesday at 7:30. Is it Wednesday 7:30? No. Wednesday, January 1st at 7:30. Knicks Jazz. Funny, yo, I do not take this game lightly. I don't take this game lightly at all. I know Lee was talking about, oh, the Jazz is a bottom feeder. The Jazz be having our number. I'm not sleeping on the Jazz. The way they run, the way they be shooting, I don't know what it is. Colin Sexton always is up in our face. I don't know if he has anything personal against us, but I feel like Colin Sexton always busts our ass. I am not sleeping on Utah. I don't care how many games they lost. Utah seems to never be an easy game for us. Kessler be doing his thing too. Like, I'm not sleeping on Utah, brother. I don't care what y'all say. Dutch B says, thanks for being consistent, long-time listener. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. It's not easy. It's not easy to be consistent during an 82-game season. But I'm glad that Lee's here and I have a team here who help me out. Even Ryan G, he's been here for like 7 years or so. This is his first year. He hasn't really been able to be consistent, but I also appreciate him, even though he hasn't been able to be like his usual. But life be life, man. John Mark says that switching bother us. Yeah, you already know, man. You already know from watching this show. Switching teams bother us. When the team switches, they give us problems. Them, the Hawks, the Celtics, switching teams kill us. Yeah. All right, yo. That's the show. Thank you guys for watching. And I'll see you Wednesday, January 1st, 7:30. Knicks versus Utah. Hopefully we getting the get back. All right. That's the show. We out of here. Peace.
New York, big city of dreams.
I'm coming straight out.
New York, big city of dreams.